Welcome back, travelers. Today I am going to show you how to float plushies and other items, primarily to make bugs look like they are crawling on your home, maybe in a bush in your garden, and wherever else you want them to be. This is an edited highlight from my Twitch channel, so it's a little bit different than my usual content, but I hope that it helps you make the most of your Palia plot. You're going to need a wall, a shelf of really any kind, and then on that shelf, you're going to want another wall. And attached to this wall, you're going to put a floor. And then to make something float, you need to put an anchor item on the floor. This item can be anything that will hold a secondary item. So for example, it has to be able to have something be put on top of it for this to function. So you cannot use books. You cannot use flower pots like that tulip over there. You cannot use anything that is not a flat surface of its own. So pavers, stools, tables, these guys, these all function. Once you have your anchor item on the shelf, you're gonna grab whatever base shelf you used, I'm using the log cabin, and you're gonna rotate it sideways. And then place it. Your anchor item is now also sideways because it's attached to the wood floor. You're going to note where the item you want floating is in your inventory. So mine is on my number 5. So I'm going to remember my number 5 key. I'm then going to highlight the homestead barrel, which is my anchor. I'm going to select it as if I'm going to move it. And you're going to drag it away from the floor that you had it on. This is where you're going to need to play around a little bit because the distance that you drag it from the floor will be the distance that the creature is floating. So I'm going to click my number 5 key for alternate placement. It brings out the ladybug. I'm then going to position the ladybug wherever it fits. And I'm going to use my secondary placement key, which for me is V. You can set that in your game settings. And I'm going to put it on the anchor. What's going to happen now is when I move the homestead barrel, the bug floats up into the air. So you can play around with the distance you want it to be and the position that you want it to be by rotating the bug. You might have to repeat it a few times until you get it to do what you want, but it's always going to be attached to this item now, so you could just go back and throw your item where you had it as close to the wall as you can get it, because the ladybug does have collision. And now your bug's on the wall. Congratulations, you did it. So if I wanted the ladybug over here, I would have to drag it at an angle. So for example, if I put the barrel back on the floor and you rotate, if I want it at an angle, I have to drag the barrel at an angle and then place the ladybug. And if I want the ladybug to be facing in a different direction, I place it on the barrel in a different direction. And when I move it, now the ladybug's up higher at an angle and facing downwards. So there's some patience, especially for those, and there is nothing wrong with this. If you are not someone who can visualize images in your head, so don't get frustrated with yourself if you can't visualize angles. Just make a little note of where you went. Use like a little border for yourself, maybe like when I did it, I knew I dragged it this way and it went in the wrong direction. So I'm not going to worry about which way the ladybug is facing. I'm just going to see what happens if I drag the barrel forward. And if it's in the right position, great. But the ladybug is still not going downwards, that's fine. I know the barrel goes here now and I need to rotate the ladybug a different way. So just be patient with yourself. It might take you a little bit to get it. That is okay. There is nothing wrong with that. You're doing your best. You will get it. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you feel like it. But most importantly, have a very magical day.